I always look forward to this Sunday. There's something about having our preachers here with us that just brings a lot of joy in our hearts. They're so wonderful. And especially those of you who have dogs. Remember, dog is God spelled backwards, right? If you ever want to experience unconditional love and forgiveness, get a dog. Because they're the ones that really, really know how to teach us what it means to love unconditionally. In our scripture reading this morning, we hear Jesus asking this fellow about his understanding of the commandments. And the fellow answered with, "Oh, I've never broken any of them. I'm fine, I'm with that." But he said, there's one last thing you need to do. And that is to sell all that you have and give the money to the poor. Now you notice Jesus didn't do this to everybody. Some people have money as the thing that they covet. And they're always thinking about money, 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 me, I need to get more stuff. And so that's people who have a problem with money. There are other folks, on the other hand, who have money and share it. So he would not tell that to them, would he? Because they're already sharing. You know the story of some of the people who've donated so much money to various foundations. Like Mr. Carnegie Fund. I was a recipient of a Carnegie Fund, and I went to Vietnam as a result of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. You know about Warren Buffett? His kids are not going to be getting anything, right? It's all going to go to these various foundations, particularly the foundation that was set up by Bill and Melinda Gates that inoculate children all over the world against diseases that have not plagued people for years and years and years. I think we all need to give of our wealth, but our wealth might not be money. There's one fellow I met at the Foothill Unity Center, and he, for a while, was without a job. And he was very, very despondent. And when he heard about the Foothill Unity Center, he learned that they could help him, especially to get back on his feet again. So what he did is he took their food. They were the ones that had like a sort of a job fair and helped him get another job. And even though he didn't make a lot of money and he had to provide for his basic needs, he started volunteering. Now think about it. If the volunteers in this world were paid, oh my goodness, I don't think we could afford it. He started volunteering. And he was the one that was collecting things and passing out things and doing some of the heavy labor that was required in the warehouse. He was sharing of his wealth, wasn't he? It didn't have to do with necessarily money. If you have 2 arms and 2 legs and can move, you could really share the wealth of your persona, can't you? On the other hand, we know as a church community, because we are informed all the time about needs throughout the world, that we can donate. Like we have the cause now for Colombia. We have a big water jug, which I hope people will, if you just have extra coins, put them in there because it really makes a difference. But more than anything, we need to volunteer of ourselves. So many people are lonely. So many people, it's so sad to think that some people live by themselves in an apartment or a house and they hardly ever receive a phone call. And they just go day to day to day and nothing. Their relatives assume that they're fine, don't bother to pick up the phone. But everyone needs that human connection. And this is one way that we can share our wealth. Wouldn't it be nice if somebody just called you and didn't want something and just said, "Hi, I was just thinking about you. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Is everything all right? Is there anything I can do for you?" Instead of, "I need your help next Sunday." Wouldn't that be wonderful? Just get a friendly phone call. That's one way that we can share our wealth. And it doesn't have to be money. I don't know anybody in here, unless it's a secret, if anyone's like the rich young man. You have so much money, you don't know what to do with it. You have all this stuff. And Jesus says, please, sell it and give it to the poor. I don't think there's anybody here right now. But I think a lot of us don't realize that our wealth comes in other forms other than just money. The biggest wealth we have is ourselves and what we can do. Another thing that I was thinking of is our wonderful, beautiful creatures that we have here today. How many of you heard on the news that in Los Angeles City, where they have a lot of animal shelters, they are having a special adoption for animals that are what you call special needs animals? Some of them are blind, some of them are deaf, some of them are lame. And to see if we can find more homes for these, because their goal is to be the largest city in the United States with no kill shelters. And the only way you can do that is by getting a lot of these animals adopted out. They're not sick, they just have special needs. And so the doggy can't hear, but the doggy can lick and love, right? And let you know how much you're appreciated. Those animals need our homes and our help. And thank you for those of you who did bring dog and cat food today. And if you forgot, you can always bring it next week. Doesn't have to be big, just anything. And you know where it's going. It's going to the food bank at the Foothill Unity Center. There's so many ways that we can share the wealth. And I know that I can count upon you to pick up that phone and let that person who maybe doesn't get too many phone calls know that you care. And that is what God is asking each and every one of us to do. Amen.
Amen.